What's up, guys? I remember when I first launched into private practice thinking that once I set my rates, I could just leave them there and not touch them again for several years. In reality, I realized that after accounting for things like inflation, increased overhead costs, and increased cost of living, that it would be imperative for me to raise my rates just to sustain the same standard of living, let alone to earn more income down the road. In today's video, I walk you through the process of how to tell your clients you're raising your rate in private practice. Welcome to Private Practice Skills. I'm Dr. Marie Fang, psychologist in private practice. I post videos offering tools I learned the hard way about starting and growing private practice so that you don't have to. Thanks to all of you who participated on Instagram when I asked for your tips about raising your rates in private practice. You'll see that I've incorporated many of your tips here as I had lots to learn from you all as well. Let's get something important out of the way first. You are fully allowed to raise your rates in private practice. I've talked to so many therapists who are under the impression that once they've advertised their services at a certain rate, that they have to keep it at that level forever. The truth is, no business operates this way because it isn't sustainable. Inflation rises, overhead costs increase, cost of living increases, so with each passing year that we don't raise our rate, we're effectively giving ourselves a pay cut. Or you may be choosing to work yourself into the ground by seeing more and more clients just to make up for that lost pay. Instead, I encourage you to make a plan to raise your rates on some regular basis. Whether your plan is to tag on a certain percentage to your rate annually, or if you wait until you get to a certain level of busy before raising your rate, if you intend to make a living from being a therapist in private practice, raising your rate is part of the process. The next question people ask is, how much is the right amount to raise your rate? I don't think there is a prescribed amount that all of us should raise our rate to. Instead, we should calculate what our ideal rate is based on figuring out our ideal income and how many clients we'd like to meet per week. I have an entire video going over this formula, so I'll link to it up here, or you can find it in the description box. Once you've decided on how much you're raising your rate, the next step is typically the most terrifying for most of us: communicating to your clients that you're raising your rates. Most therapists are fearful that clients will not react well to this announcement, or that they may lose clients once they've raised their rates. And though these two outcomes are entirely possible, I've found both in my own experience and hearing from others that clients are incredibly understanding and gracious when it comes to us raising our rates. Furthermore, there are various ways to go about announcing a rate increase such that your clients are more comfortable and understanding with the change. Here are some tips to help the process go as smoothly as possible for you. First, have a clause in your informed consent letting clients know that it's possible you may raise your rates throughout the course of counseling. Give some detail about how you'd go about making this announcement, and also be sure to verbally touch base with your client about that in the first session. Second, give your clients advance notice. This will help clients prepare their budget accordingly, or if it might be possible that some of your clients can't afford your new rate, then it allows enough time for you to transition out of the counseling process and potentially set them up with a new therapist if needed. It is customary to offer a 90-day notice, but it's not required. The way I do it is I offer a 90-day notice, then I remind clients again a month in advance, and I remind them one more time a week in advance so they're not caught off guard when the day comes to charge the higher rate. Third, frame the change in a way that helps clients empathize without you needing to come across as needy. Be respectful of the services you're offering your clients while also being upfront about inflation and increased overhead costs. You can frame it in such a way to make clear that raising your rate will allow you to offer the same standard of care moving forward. Fourth, consider offering the change in a way that helps your clients feel cared for by you. So the way I personally do it is I frame it by saying that this change is effective immediately. However, it doesn't apply to existing clients for another 90 days as an expression of my appreciation for their business. And fifth, offer the announcement in writing. Be sure to go over your announcement verbally first, but once you've done so, whether via email or through a printed handout, it's helpful to have your statement in writing. This helps clients remember, first of all, that you're making this rate change, and it also helps the process feel a bit more formal. Now, I know from personal experience that writing a letter like this can feel pretty clunky. So what I'm doing is I have a free PDF that's a sample letter announcement to your clients that you're raising your rates. And you can find that free link in the description box. Just a reminder, first of all, to tell your clients verbally before offering some type of letter like this. And second of all, be sure to tailor a letter like this to your and your client's needs. So as you can see, if you're mindful about how you go about announcing that you're raising your rates, the process doesn't have to be counter-therapeutic. And that's it. This video feels different than a lot of my typical videos in that this doesn't require very many technical steps in order to get it done. It mostly requires overcoming our own insecurities about what it means to raise our rates. So if you're in the boat of feeling scared to raise your rate and needing permission to go ahead and do it, let this video be your nudge. It's okay to raise your rates, and in fact, it's a necessary part of running a business. Well, I hope this video helps you feel equipped to tell your clients that you're raising your rates. Until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well. So good.